Greetings, everybody. I don't really like calling people's names. Sometimes it's necessary to do that. But today I'm going to list some names and then I'll explain to you what is the significance of doing that in order for me to make my point. Lisa Anna, a female politician in Jamaica. Ishana, a dancehall artist in Jamaica. Fluffy Diva, a radio personality, entertainer. Tanya Stevens, a dancehall artist. Itana, a reggae artist. Portia Simpson Miller, former Prime Minister of Jamaica. What is so interesting is all of these ladies' names end with A. Lisa, if I kept her name by itself, it still ends with an A. Lisa Anna, and Ishana, and Fluffy Diva, and Tanya, and Portia. All of these women are Jamaican women. And all of these women are very strong women. But all of these women have had backlash from the Jamaican people at one point or the other. What is common with all of these ladies, even though they stand for different things or represent different things, they're still very much a part of our Jamaican culture. And these individuals dared to speak their mind on a topic of their choice. And I don't want to go into all of that. At some point or the other, I have spoken on all of these women. You know, weighed in, put my 2 cents in, whatever was going on with these women. So as is the right of all people to express their opinion on whatever topic, as I have the right to express my opinion on the opinion of these individuals, they too have a right to express themselves. And as we talked about in another video, we talk about culture. We talk about, heritage and a respect for it or disrespect towards it. And I'm here to say today that part of her social or socialization in Jamaica have caused us as a people to, whenever individuals come up with an idea that differs from our own, we don't get into a situation where we want to have a discussion about this or have a dialogue about this. What we find in our culture, and it wasn't always this way, but what we find in our culture now is this gang mentality. Somebody is unable to express themselves without having to worry about getting death threats or getting this gang banging individuals coming out against these persons with all kind of vile discussions. Women in Jamaica are not celebrated. And this is why it's very easy for a person to express their opinion on whatever topic. The freedom that they have to speak is then silenced by not just male, but female as well in our culture. This is a shared pattern of behavior that exists in our culture. So when persons come out and say things, we don't have to agree with them. But what we are seeing happening in our culture now very much have to do with the violence that we see. Our people have become very violent. Our way of handling our problems are violent. Our ways of expressing ourselves are violent. And I do understand that Black people on a whole have met a lot of violence in their life, whether it be economic or spiritual or financial or political. And the violence that we have experienced in our lives across the years have turned us into semi-monsters, especially when it comes to relating to each other. Silencing people has become a strong thing, a strong method in Jamaica. So the people are afraid to speak. Individuals are afraid to express themselves because they could very much die if not physically or spiritually, financially. People are not allowed to express themselves anymore, and particularly women. It cannot be a coincidence that all the names that I've listed here are females. Females who are doing what they can to make themselves better and to contribute to our society or culture in some way. That gang mentality, that violence now is spread out across the board. So you'll find people who claim to be intelligent and people who, you know, are not educated alike behave the same way. And sometimes people who are educated behave even worse. They use their privileged position to suppress and to oppress people. The disrespect people show towards others who show that they can think for themselves is outrageous. We have become a nation of people who repeat the cycle of abuse for ourselves, towards ourselves, and towards other people. Anytime someone expresses an idea that differs from your own, you're certain to expect a backlash that doesn't show critical thinking skills, but moronic kind of thought processes. Morons. We're acting like morals, and this morons. And the thing I'm worried about is that if we had the same energy and strength for other people who actually are suppressing us, who are actually doing things to destroy us, I wouldn't have anything to say. And that kind of venom that we're prepared to spew on our own, we're ready to hang, we're ready to prosecute our own people. You can't criticize individuals without telling them where they, up under their mothers, they should go. You can critique somebody's argument, but you have no, first of all, they didn't teach us critical thinking skills. They teach us repetition, they repeat. So if you're learning history, you have to remember dates, you have to remember time. You're not analyzing somebody's argument and saying, well, this was said, but this doesn't prove that. We don't know how to do that. And so when we're talking about crime and violence in our country, in Jamaica, it's not that crime and violence there differs from anywhere else, except it's the way we respond. The way we respond to problems, the way we respond to solving, you know, simple disputes. It's outrageous. All of these women at some point have had to deal with backlash, and backlash that tear them apart as women, backlash that go up underneath their dresses. That is so disrespectful. This is why I'm saying that whenever I see things happening, I will critique, I will criticize, if you want to say that, but I am not here to condemn our women. I'm not here to tear the women apart. And women in Jamaica who love to gang up with other women and tear down another woman, think twice, because your time is coming soon. You're already experiencing that in your household. The double standard that exists in our culture, with men always having the right to do things, to destroy you as women and to destroy the other men in our culture. We stand by and we support this. We are the first to tear down each other. We don't stand in solidarity or support of each other. We show no sympathy, no empathy towards our women. So somebody, Lisa Anna earlier this year, critiqued dance hall, and I didn't like it, and I was able to give my 2% without trying to demoralize her or to demean who she is as a woman. And the backlash that came out against the woman, it was disgraceful. Same thing with what's her name, Ishana, as the situation exists. Ishana is coming under this backlash, not just because of what she says about this icon in Jamaica, but because people are vexed because she dared to come out and say equal rights. That is really what this is coming from, and this is why I'm not supporting it. And what I'm also seeing, I'm seeing women, older women, who are a disgrace to black women, coming out and disgracing Ishana. I see other men who speak foul, who the very society condemn such a person for thinking critically, for being an individual. Because in Jamaica, if you're not saying what everybody says, if you're not staying in the same group as everybody, if you don't support the same things, you are alienated and therefore destroyed, if not killed. Lisa Anna, Ishana, Fluffy Diva, Tanya, Itana, and Portia, all strong black women, all women of color, all women who contribute to the landscape in one way or the other, all who have their own fans. They, at some point, expressed views that people didn't like, and we all critique these individuals one way or the other. But we should never become a people where you have people calling you names and attacking you because you don't agree with them. And a lot of these persons who come out to condemn these individuals, they're no better, they're a disgrace. When you see who's defending, you know, our culture these days, it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. I'm not going to stop talking because some idiot don't know how to accept the fact that somebody has a right to speak. And if you have something to say, critique that argument without getting low. It's only a matter of time before they gang up on another person. And I find that the people in Jamaica only have strength for women and only have strength for their own people. I might not agree with these individuals at one point or the other, but my position as a black woman and my position as a Jamaican woman is not to make individuals feel like they're zero. We need to stop it. Jamaican women, you need to stop it. You need to stop support. You need to stop with this gang-banging personality and attitudes. You need to stop it. And the men who are in Jamaica who are so, it takes nothing for you to go off the deep end. It takes nothing for you to distress and oppress each other. It's time for you to stop. It's a disgrace and it's embarrassing. People are afraid to even do dancehall reviews these days because of the kind of tyrannical, I don't know what to say, the kind of attitude that comes out. People are afraid to speak. People can't speak their mind, and it's not because they're afraid that you're going to come and criticize them. They're afraid that you're going to kill them because your language is so harsh, it's scary. That's where we are now. That's where we are. There's a shared pattern of bully mentality in Jamaica. A shared pattern of violence that not just demonstrates itself in physical activities, but the way we speak, the way we treat each other. It's a disgrace, and that was not a part of our culture. That has changed recently. Until you can fix that, you will never be great as a nation. Until you can learn to have arguments or conversation and have other persons who have a mind of their own, who can think for themselves, be able to say what they're thinking without having to worry about death. It's a disgrace. It is shameful. It is shameful. Now, all these women with their names ending with A, big up yourself and keep talking and let them, you know, expose their ignorance. Because even when you're doing things that might be perceived as ignorant or perceived as negative, the way they behave towards you shows the world that they're worst. No matter how bad the person behaves or what the person says that is not right, by the time they're done dealing with it, they make themselves look like monsters and make you look like saints. Be blessed, everybody.